What's up, y'all? We back. It's been a couple weeks,
Sorry.
but it's been chaotic. So we've just got all this epic content for you.
So buckle up,
Yeah,
because we get into it.
Our Purple Oath, episode 10, begins now. So, do you think Joe Biden, Mr. Joe, has a plan for the inflation of all of consumer goods right now? You do think he has a plan?
I said,
Oh, I thought you said mm-hmm.
His plan for consumer goods is to import everything from China. That's what I think his plan is.
Ooh, it's a bold statement.
I mean, prices, inflation, kind of shown.
No, but we can't import like wood and like oil.
Not yet.
I'm just saying it's gonna make it too much. I mean, as far as like oil, we already get oil from Russia and Saudi Arabia.
Yup. He's also going to shut down our Alaskan pipeline. Oh, he already shut down our Alaskan pipeline.
I was gonna say that already happened.
But you know what? It's okay. Why? Because him and his family's getting rich off of it.
Well, that's unfortunate for us. So I heard experts say that they expect wood prices to be back down to semi-normal by the end of summer.
What's semi-normal?
Like what they were during COVID.
So rather than it up being, 200%, it'll be up 100%? So it'll go down 100%?
No, during COVID when we built our deck on the last house, it was a little inflated. Like I would say, I don't think it was 100, maybe 50%. But yeah, it's because think about it. It is about a quarter because when we bought our plywood, it was about $15 a sheet. Now it's $60.
Oh, you know when I went and bought plywood?
Doesn't that just make
$35?
Doesn't that make you just want to shit your pants? Fucked up. $60.
Wow.
$60 for a sheet of plywood.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah. Well, and did you hear what? So I've been reading article after article after article on this fucking wood prices because we need to fucking start building. We want to flip our house we're in now, and we need fucking wood to do that. I'm gonna break your heart right now. You start planning for 4 years. So
minimum 4 years here.
So experts are saying September, August, we could be looking at prices back to 50% of inflation instead of 200. But they're saying they're blaming it on COVID. They're saying
Why?
that they're saying that the mills stopped running and logging crews stopped running.
Okay.
And all of these industries stopped running. But don't you think that's bullshit?
I think that's bullshit because most of those workers are Republicans anyways who...
Hardcore blue collar.
Hardcore blue collar, I'm working for my country.
Yeah.
They're not going to shut down for shit. This is just more get-rich-quick schemes for whoever up top.
Me and my boss today were saying he was agreeing with me that the oil industry is doing the same thing.
Yeah,
if you go over to any red state, say Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, the three places that me and him have been recently, we were talking about gas prices. It's 50 to 75 cents cheaper. And he was saying that he thinks it's because The oil industries are punishing the blue states. And I was like,
kind of funny.
I was
That's
like,
kind of ironic.
I was like, you're fucking probably right. I never thought of it like that. You're probably fucking right, dude.
Big fuck
The
you.
oil companies are like, oh yeah, you want to put Joe Biden in office?
No, fuck
Here
you.
you go.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Here you go. You get a 75-cent increase on all your gas. All your diesel. Fuck you.
I didn't even think about that till now either.
I didn't either.
That's funny.
I was like, dude,
That's
you're probably right.
yeah, maybe.
That's why I've seen 329 places. I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Dude, did I tell you what I got? The cheapest gas in Missouri?
$3.87, I think I paid in New York.
Cheapest gas I got in Missouri, $2.38.
Wow.
Right?
Oh, I fucking wish.
That's what I said when we passed. Like, what? Skirt!
Filling up here right now.
We get gas here. Yeah.
Should have filled up a couple other goods.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the kind of place you see people start filling up shit. But it was like, and it was kind of like that all through Kansas. Like every I don't know, 4th or 5th town, you'd see that gas station nestled in the back that's only selling gas for $2.40, $2.50. It's like, what the fuck, Colorado? What the fuck, California? What the fuck, New York? But now, I'm starting to think it's not those states' fault. It's the oil companies sending the oil across states.
Yep.
They're like, oh, this load's going to Missouri. I will give them this price. Oh, this load's going to California? Oh, fuck them. Fucking $5 a gallon.
100%. Oh.
Yeah, it was funny. And then after he left, me and my mechanic were talking about it, and he was like, that is kind of funny. I was like, it is, but it isn't, because we live in one of those blue-purple states.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Like, the pettiness of it is amazing.
Well, and like, talking to an old-timer like my boss, he knows where all the pipelines are.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, them shutting down the Keystone Pipeline, I mean, it affected it, but not really. I mean, if you look at all the pipelines that come through down from Canada and that come down to Texas and Mexico, they're all still running, still doing their thing. But the Keystone Pipeline was just a way to get, it was like a shortcut from one pipeline to another pipeline.
No.
And it was going to save fucking billions of dollars. So they were like, dude, let's do it.
Let's do it.
And Trump was in office, so they were like, he's not going to say no. Let's do it. But, yeah.
Now we got Joe Biden, who said no.
Yeah.
Within like 5 minutes, too, man.
I know.
Like, 5 minutes of being president. He's like, shut it down!
And the bad thing is like it was in November or something that Trump had him amp up construction or something like that. And they hired like 1,000 or 2,000 more workers to go work up there. And it's like I knew when he was doing it, it's like, that's probably not a good idea, because Joe Biden's going to come in office, all those people are going to lose their jobs, and then so it was really Trump that's the asshole, because he was the one that was like, hurry up! We got to get this thing finished! But it's nowhere near done, so... Like, I was under the impression that it was just a couple bolts and welds away from being completely finished, but no. There's like full 100-mile sections that the pipe's not even laying down.
Right. There's still so much that needs done that won't get done.
Yeah, and they were saying what's going to happen to all that fucking pipe that's just sitting there.
It's going to waste and rust. And...
They were saying it's up to the fucking landowners now. Landowners pretty much got it all for free.
What you want to do with it?
Bruh.
I'm not building it.
Because you know the landowners aren't going to
pissed if I was those landowners.
Yeah. Right,
you
dude?
fucking kidding me?
Dude, there's tons,
Get your
hundreds,
shit off my lawn.
hundreds
I
of
didn't
tons,
want this here in the first place.
hundreds of tons of pipe laying in fields.
Didn't want it here in the first fucking place.
Get your shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And now everyone's up in arms because Biden lifted sanctions on a Russian pipeline. And
Same time he closed the Alaskan pipeline.
it's like what? It's
Where does the hypocrisy end?
no, it's like we are.
No, that's my question. Where does the hypocrisy end?
It's like Biden doesn't trust oil coming from Canada, America, or Mexico. He wants it to only come from Saudi Arabia and Russia. Because lifting sanctions on the pipeline is just going to increase their production.
Because he has oil companies out there.
Well, he wouldn't have lifted the sanctions off it if he wasn't benefiting off of it somehow.
Right.
Every decision that is made by Joe Biden, there is
for the purpose of how lining his pocket with more money.
What do you call it? Ulterior motives?
Yep, there's an ulterior motive to line more money in his pocket.
Yeah.
These other pipelines were going to hinder that.
Yes, they were going to make everything cheaper and make
yes,
oil more abundant.
Well, it's not even that; it's competition.
Well, and he wants the energy industry to blast off, and I really think that Biden has no plan for this gas price, oil industry craze that's going on right now. He likes it. He wants everyone to look at this and be like, I should get an electric car. That's really what I think his thought process is right now.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the only thing he's thinking about, everyone getting an electric car.
Yeah, stop bitching, get an electric car. It's like, motherfucker, electric cars are not cheap. Like, people, I would say 90% of the country still is in that $10,000 and under car range. Most people can't afford more than a $10,000 car.
Right.
And I'm not talking about leasing a car. Anyone can rent or
buying out
or
owning.
You know what I mean. Not necessarily lease, but like a payment on a car. That's not buying a car. I'm saying Americans that can go out right now and buy a $10,000 car with cash. Not many fucking people can do that, man. So a lot of people are in that. I would say it's every bit of 90% of our population is in that range of buying a car. You show me right now an electric car less than $10,000 or right at $10,000.
I think you can make one for that.
Oh, I know you can. They sell conversion kits. You could convert almost any car over to an electric car.
Now to buy one? No.
Have you seen some of those conversions that people have been doing? Dude, I saw a guy.
An Audi conversion.
Yes!
The Audi A4.
I think I saw you share that. Dude, that was sick, dude.
Sick.
He was like, I'm still trying to work out the quirks. It's not quite perfect yet. It's like, that's
Fucking
still so
epic.
cool, though. That's still so
Took
cool.
out the engine and was like, I'm going to make it an electric car. What?
Yeah.
No.
In a badass Audi.
That happened.
And it was sick, I must say. Go find that video. And the people videoing weren't even the people that owned the car. They just turned their cell phone video on, and started interviewing this guy with this. They had this guy's car that drove by. Because you can't. I mean, how do you notice a car that doesn't make noise? You know what I mean? If a car drove by you and didn't make any noise, you would probably be like, that was odd.
Why wasn't that loud?
How is it making no noise? Yeah. Old Biden. He's getting himself into a bunch of trouble now.
We're only 5 months in.
Yeah, he better. That's why I asked you the very first question. Do you think he has a plan for this? And do you think he saw this coming? Because in my mind, he had to have seen at least 50 to 60% of what's happening. He's had to have seen it coming. He has experts.
He knew.
He has experts surrounding him and telling him what is happening and what is about to happen if you do said A or B option.
No, he knew.
So it's like, I mean, he's got to have a plan to deal with the inflation. I mean, we already established he doesn't give a fuck about the oil industry. So don't plan on that fluctuating too much, other than upwards.
Not for at least 4 years.
See, and I don't technically agree with that. I do agree that somewhere in the near future they'll get a grasp on the oil industry. They'll have to fucking sign a deal with somebody, or we'll have $10 gas and there will be a fucking war. Because if gas is too expensive to buy, you're gonna piss a lot of people off.
Oh yeah, 100%. So many people are gonna start.
And everyone's gonna blame the president.
There you are.
No, that's just what happens when gas prices go up. You blame the president.
More than anything's fucked up in the country, blame the president.
Yeah. When I think we can both agree, and most of the people that watch the show, that Biden is not completely at fault for all of the gas prices, because I'm pretty sure the oil industry is just sticking it in his ass. So, I mean, I think they're just sticking it to him and then using excuses, Because I think a lot of this inflation in prices, everyone's just using excuses. They're using COVID as an excuse. I really don't think a lot of these industries got hit that hard. Because think about all the people that were flipping their houses. Think about the fucking housing boom. All the people, all the housing developments that are building houses.
Our economy's doing too good, guys. We need to pump the brakes real quick. Hold on. We can't have an economy working so great like this. No, how dare us? How dare us?
In a sense, that is what's happening. I don't think it was purposefully like that, but
that's what it seems like.
It damn sure is what it seems like. Everything everyone buys is now more expensive. And in some places, doubled, tripled. But, I mean, what do you do?
Sit back and ride the wave.
So, let's talk about the other side.
What other side?
Let's talk about Trump.
No, that side. The other side that I don't like, too.
So, there is a couple things that have happened with Trump since we last talked to you guys. Trump's blog that he has, I can't remember what it's called. From the President's Desk or something like that. I can't remember. But it has pretty much been shut down because of lack of viewership.
That's funny.
And he has now gone on to pretty much a campaign trail again.
Wearing his pants backwards.
I saw that.
Sorry.
I'd like to think
I
that was just a new style of slacks. But, yeah, Homeboy didn't have a zipper. So, there's a problem going on there. I noticed it too. There's so many people talking about it. It's like, dude, this is like Obama's Dijon mustard comment. Who fucking cares?
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, dude, if he had his pants on backwards,
that's pretty funny.
He might be losing his mind. Because
to go on television with your pants on backwards.
I don't think I have put shorts on backwards recently.
Oh, I've done it like half asleep.
Yeah.
But then I realized, these feel weird.
Yeah, you feel it immediately.
Like.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't last very long until you notice, like, wait a second.
Maybe that's just the best way to hold and keep his pants up.
I don't know, he's getting that fupa right there, man.
That's what I mean.
I mean, fuck. It holds his pants up by itself. He doesn't even need a belt. It just sits there. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to weight shame the president, but it was kind of funny.
I'm gonna have to
Him
say,
potentially have his pants on backwards.
here's one comment about Donald Trump. His 4 years of being president did not take a huge toll on him physically compared to all these other presidents I've seen. Like physical appearance wise, look at Obama after his presidency.
Yeah. Yep.
Trump like walked in, walked out like nothing happened.
Yeah. We'll see Trump in 4 years though, because he's still dealing with that stress. You know, with and
what are you
this
talking
is.
about? He's gonna be.
Have you heard about him possibly being indicted? The
No,
grand jury looking at the Trump administration for, I think it's financial shit, which we all knew that it was going to be. But yeah, so Trump's got a possible indictment hanging over his head. He's stressing the fuck out. I read an article the other day that said that the SOS has been put out to all the kids too, and they have been told to lawyer up. So, Junior, Eric, Ivanka, Laura,
Interesting.
they're all about to go to court, and it's New York's attorney. I guess she is all up in his ass.
Hell bent for him.
She is all up in his ass.
She is hell bent for this. Oh my god.
Yeah, but I guess Trump went on somewhere and said that he is planning to be reinstated in August. That he plans on all this evidence is going to come out about the stolen election, and that he's going to be reinstated by August. And QAnon grabbed onto this hard.
I like this. I like that. Here's a question. Here's a question for you. If this is a big if, along the lines of the election, if the election is proven to have been stolen, right? And so if it was proven to be stolen, will that be the death of the Democratic Party?
Oh man, it's going to be a shit show trying to switch it back. I mean, that statement alone sends my brain into about 10 different places.
Do you think the Democratic Party would die at that point? It can go several different ways.
No,
absolutely.
No, because I think like as of right now.
Okay, so here's a better question: How would the Democratic Party recover from that?
You'd have to have a couple people get outspoken immediately, and it would semi-save them as far as a political career, you know? Kind of like it's going right now with, like, Liz Cheney, Ben Sasse, Mitt Romney, the people that are outspoken in the Republican Party right now that are like, come on, let's grow up, let's get away from this Donald Trump bullshit, let's get an adult in there. Because, I mean, I really think that if Trump had more sympathy and just shut up and told people what they wanted to hear while he was on camera, and just did the opposite like he does anyways, and run the country like he was doing, I just really feel like he would have been reelected by a fucking landslide, and I don't think Trump would be as hated as he is. People hate him because of his interviews. People don't hate him because of his policies and the money factor.
That I think
because he is a businessman and he has turned some things around.
That's part of it. That is part of it, and I ended up getting a book about it. But the media had a big factor on the country hating him.
Oh yeah, the media was.
The media did everything.
You remember
they could
during
to
Obama?
find what they could. To
you remember during
smear
Obama,
his
it
name.
was just Fox News that really just hammered Obama.
Yeah.
It turned into 1 out of the 7 news networks slamming the president to 6 out of the 7 news networks slamming the president. And it showed how lopsided the media is as far as political views. Most of the media has liberal, progressive views.
Yep.
So that when someone comes in like Donald Trump and is doing things like lifting emissions bans in California and unrestricting fire policies in California and other places, I mean, a lot of the people saw those policies as a total fuck you and completely disregarded anything that he had done good because it was all over the news and they were told to hate it. Yep. And not to mention that the news never really talked about anything the president did good. Like, we can go back and show, like, the tax breaks he gave the lower class and the tax breaks and then the data thereafter showing the companies that decided to stay in America or buy American products. Statistics came out fairly good, but we all knew they would. We all knew that Trump was going to come in and run the country like a business.
Like it should have been.
Yeah, and we've all been saying for years, a businessman needs to run this country to get us out of debt.
That's the problem. We're never going to be out of debt, though.
Not the way we're structured. But you understand as much as I do about why our founding fathers or someone in their group convinced all of them that if you are in debt to somebody, they are going to provide you security because they have to keep you alive because you are paying them. So, in a kindergarten sense, that sounds like it makes sense. But when you're in the real world, that's fucking terrible if you're paying, or if you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And that's literally what we do.
That's what we're doing.
Like, we are so backed up in fucking bullshit. I mean,
29 trillion, I think was the last number I saw.
Yeah. And it went up a lot during Trump. And that's why a lot of people realized that it might not be possible unless you restructure the whole shit. And the country's citizens are not ready for that. You know what I mean? Like, that's a full-on revolution. Because you would have to literally somehow convince the government to semi-wipe the slate clean and start over.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna fucking happen. You'll never convince you'll never convince a majority to do that. I don't know. I told you right before the election that Trump is going to be reelected, and I'm certain of it. And it did not happen. And the reasoning for it is massive voter turnout, supposedly. And I say supposedly because I like showing respect to my boys that don't believe in this. Believe that the election was legit. Because I agree, it is still too soon for all of the data to come in, all of the court litigations to go through.
At the end of the day, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Just like when Trump was elected, it was the electorates who voted Trump in office. It wasn't the populace.
Yeah.
It was the electorates.
Yeah.
just like this election, it was the electorates who elected Biden
Yeah.
over Trump.
See, and I do think that the electorates, you know how they're selected as far as like regions.
Now,
I think that a lot of grassroots operations went through and worked hard in those areas to make sure they went blue.
100%.
Super strategical shit.
100%. So it doesn't matter. Biden's the president.
Yes.
If it turns out that there was mass fraud, okay, well, the electorate still voted for Biden. So
That is true.
We have to suck it up for the 4 years. That's why I brought the question in about the Democratic Party being destroyed. Because at that point, we've got 4 years of Joe Biden who
Didn't legitimately win.
legitimately did not win the election.
Well, I mean, that's another thing, too. Do you think they'll, like, even if they find massive voter fraud, they have to find, like, 7 million or something like that
Not even-
difference?
no. I don't think it has to be that extensive.
Well, it's just that was the difference in the
I
popular
don't even
vote.
think it has to do with the popular vote. I think it has to do with the states that were stolen.
True. Very true.
Just the stealing of a state. Pennsylvania, Georgia,
Arizona.
Arizona,
Yeah.
Michigan.
I don't think Georgia was stolen. Georgia, they did the recount in Georgia more times than anywhere.
So that's where it's... Well, the Democrats just cheated this last election. Through whatever means.
Yeah.
We can't trust that party because they just cheated.
Yeah.
Right? So, where does the Democrat... Like you said, they would have to...
You'd have to have outspoken members immediately.
You would need those outspoken members. But what outspoken members do the Democrats have to do that right now? AOC is not going to be there.
No, none of those name brand people are going to speak out real quick.
Yeah, none.
You're going to have nobody. It's going to be nobody.
Being outspoken real quick.
I do. So you're going to have 2 or 3 people do it immediately just to save their ass. And it's going to be new freshies that were just elected. That's just usually how it works.
How it should work.
That's how it should always work. We should have new freshies in there all the time with new open minds being open to fucking, hey, that guy might be right.
Stop being scared to get shut down.
Well, and stop being so divided. Like, stop looking at someone like, oh, that's the Republican guy of blah, blah, blah state. You need to look at that guy. You need to look at that guy like, hey, it's a guy with ideas that got here from having good ideas. No one is in that room of Congress or of the Senate without having fantastic ideas at some point in their career.
100%.
Even Nancy Pelosi, there was a point in her fucking career where she was killing it. That's why she's where she is. I'm pretty sure everyone that thinks like us agrees that her, Chuck Schumer, and Mitch McConnell need to get the fuck out.
100%.
It's
no
time
reason
for
to be in
it's time for
60
new
fucking
voices. It's time for new people for people to hate. Because I'm fucking sick of hearing Pelosi and McConnell's names. It's annoying. We know everyone hates them. We know. Even Republicans hate McConnell, and Democrats... I'm not going to say all Democrats, because some people adore Nancy Pelosi. I just don't get it. I don't think she's the devil like a lot of people say, but I do think it's time for her to go retire and live her life somewhere. Same with Chuck and Mitch. Everyone just go retire. Well, and this term limits thing, totally besides the point here. What branches of the government don't have term limits?
Congress.
Senate does, and the president does.
Yep. So it's, Senate and the president. And
then the House of Representatives is Congress members.
House reps don't have term limits.
But House reps they have to be Congress
branch.
members, right, to be House reps?
The legislative branch does not have term limits.
Nor does
the judicial
Supreme
branch. That's the judicial branch.
Yeah, Supreme Court. You knew what I was talking about.
However, the executive branch and the president have term limits.
Yeah, I mean...
Because that makes fucking sense.
Well, and I think we should really think about an 8-year term instead of a 4-year term. Because I think this 4-year term with Trump proved that all a fucking president does in 4 years is shake shit up. If you don't give them an extra 4 years to keep it going and show people, like, hey, this is what I've been trying to do. Because Obama did the same thing. If you cut Obama off after 4 years, dude, so much shit would have just been
maybe that was the plan.
null and void.
Maybe that was the plan. Maybe Trump's plan was go in 4 years, shake shit up, lose, hand over a shit show to Sleepy Joe.
It should have never been Joe.
Show the country, oh, hey guys, you see how shitty he just handled that shit show? I'm back for president. And guess what? At that point, he can run for not just 1, but 2 more terms. So he could then be the first president since who the fuck when served 12 years as a president.
It has happened before, hasn't it?
Not recently.
No, it happened 10th president or something like that.
But that's why they had instilled the 14th Amendment, term limits on the president.
It's an amendment, right?
Yeah.
So we can walk that back.
But
or
still,
or revise it. We can revise that amendment.
But think about that. Like, Trump comes and shakes shit up, gives a shit show off, to then come in for your 8 years, like you were just talking, to restructure everything.
But what if that 7th and 8th year, people start to see and understand and get it? You know as well as I do,
what?
4 years ain't shit.
Get the we need 8 years.
Yeah. So
that's where I'm gonna go down guys, you're gonna have to go to slightly off topic for this one. That's where the last president comes in.
Yes, guys, we did an episode called The Last President on Slightly Off Topic podcast that talks about the last president. There was a book.
Trump being...
There was a book.
A Trump.
Guys, you gotta go check it out. It goes in depth. But you can pause this right now, go listen to that, and then come back, and then it'll all make sense. What about the last president?
What if... So that 7th and 8th year,
well,
everyone's like, oh,
David's always
right.
posting shit like, hey, every 250 years or so,
false, because the Romans ruled for over 1,000 years. That was the one civilization that had thrived for 1,000 years before they fell. Why? Because they had entertainment and they gave their people food. Now the fucked up part...
But think about what happens in like an overabundance of people. Usually you like have your farmers and then they have an overabundance of food. And after you have 1,000 years of that, you're giving away food for free.
Why not?
I mean, I just think that kind of shit, it just happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really the civilization's fault for diverting to that.
No, so that's not where I was going to go with that comment.
No, I know. It just turns...
No, what
happens... turns people into dependent, weak people.
Not even that. What happens is people start realizing that, fuck, the people that are ruling our country right now is fucked up. The Romans, they had the Roman games. In the end, they were killing innocent people for the entertainment of everyone else. But hey, don't worry, we're also feeding you. That's some fucked up shit. But it took them 1,000 years to be like, hold on, why are we killing these innocent people?
Morality.
So that's where they revolted.
Humanity.
That's where they revolted.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Mad Max thing.
That
sends me straight to like a Mad Max, like
a consistent cycle. It repeats itself.
Oh yeah, I just hope that we're not alive for it. I hope that America can figure it out and stay together as people. I do think though that like
we are coming up on a revolution.
I agree.
2019 was the start of our revolution.
I think that it all started with Trump.
2019 was the start of the revolution.
The war that the media and Trump waged against each other.
It wasn't even that.
I think that is the 100% reason that this is happening.
It has part of it.
I just say that because
1619.
It riled a lot of people.
1619 was the start of slavery.
1619
was like when America had started slavery, had started importing immigrants for slaves. It's been 2019, 400 years. Okay? I'm pretty sure this is a biblical prophecy last I had read.
I've been hearing a lot of those lately.
In an article. That's why BLM came out last year as aggressive as they did. Because it is trying to bring light to the end of this, I'm putting quotations around it because I don't believe the actual term of it, systemic racism. Right?
I do, but
in the end, we're coming to a point where slavery, the term of slavery, is coming to an end as a whole with humanity.
I think slavery is not something that's even remotely current in today like America's times. Like you can go over to Africa and Indonesia and find slaves. Even in Mexico, you can find slaves. But you gotta understand that
we're all slaves.
Well, in a hypothetical aspect, absolutely. Absolutely. If you pay taxes, if you pay for electricity, if you pay for your house to be warm, you are a slave. Absolutely. You do not live for yourself. I mean, our ancestors tried to build us a better future every time. Same as we're going to do for our kids. But it's just it's what you're handed. It's what you have, the hand you're dealt. It's what you have to deal with. It's what you got. So, I mean, when me and you start thinking about, like, a revolution, what that would mean, man, it would fucking shake some shit up. But at the same time, it might be the best thing that you could have right now.
It's what we need.
Because it would kind of act as a equalizer. It would put poor people working dead-end jobs back to gardening for their community or building or farming or raising livestock. You know what I mean? Things that we need to survive, but have been completely taken over by corporations, and we don't do ourselves anymore. That's what I mean as far as, like, it would be the best fucking thing to happen. Like an apocalypse, to where, like, I mean, I wouldn't say where it turned us into a third world country, because I think at that point we would be attacked. I don't think the outside countries, the outside powerful countries would let us just live peacefully if we had some fucked up shit happen.
We'll have our own opinions on being a third world country.
I just think, though, that if we went back to, like, you don't work a fucking job anymore, you don't pay bills, you literally heat your house with wood fires, all your food comes from your backyard or your neighbors, and that's what you do during your day. You go help your neighbors, you go make sure their garden is badass, you make sure their livestock is healthy, you make sure their livestock has food to eat or a field to graze in. Just things that a lot of people, like city people, are literally listening to me say this, like, I don't know what the fuck he just said.
He's high.
I don't know what the fuck he just said.
They're sitting there like, he's high. Ain't no one gonna go and help farmers and
well,
gardeners.
That's just it.
Well,
what if electricity was no more? What would you do with your life?
It's not even that. It's the fact. The government just recently had implemented they offered all of the farmers 1.5 times the amount for their crops this year.
Who's paying for that?
No, the government. The government's offering, so we are, obviously.
Tax money.
Through tax money. Basically,
I have no problem helping the farmers. I will gladly pay that tax.
Well, so the issue with this is the subsidies.
And it inflates their price. Don't let them get used to that.
That's exactly what's going to happen. The government's going to buy out all this land to create a food shortage.
Yeah.
So how do we negate?
We all know what happens when the government is in charge of anything.
So how do we negate that? We all come together and start planting our own gardens. What you have your own poultry, we have poultry. We got eggs.
I hate pigs. Pigs are so stinky.
So
cows are awesome.
The more self-sustaining we can become, the more self-sustaining we can become, the better our economy is going to be.
Yeah,
because you're not so reliant on
going to a grocery store.
More or less people. That's what we're losing touch with.
we need to start. You know what the next generation needs to be called?
Huh.
The grow generation. They just grow things. Like a whole generation of Johnny Appleseeds.
It's that whole generation of Johnny Appleseeds.
Yeah. Just plant trees, plant crops, eat naturally from your backyard. Because I really think, like, remember like 10 years ago when Monsanto got sued their fucking asses off, like billions and billions of dollars from multiple fucking people? Remember any of those lawsuits going through? Yeah, that's why you don't remember.
That's why
because none of them went through. Yeah, and Monsanto still to this fucking day is doing their thing. Poisoning the next generation. Yeah, guys, grocery stores are cool and all, but only buy, like,
go to Whole Foods,
diapers,
go to Sprouts,
and, like, camping stuff, and, like, maybe, like, spatulas and toilet paper and stuff like that.
If you're gonna get produce,
dude,
go to Sprouts. Go to farmers markets.
If you live in the city, go to like the
city
Chinese markets,
yes,
or go to the little Mexican markets. They have the freshest shit. Don't even try me. There's no grocery store on the planet that has fresher vegetables and meat than those little markets that you go to. Dude, they're so sweet. And farmers markets, that's good shit. You better bring a lot of money though, because you'll easily spend $100 on fruit and vegetables at a farmer's market.
Worth it.
It is so worth it, but it is easy to do. It's easy to spend $100. And here in Colorado, we have the Hatch Green chilies, and you can't go to a fucking farmer's market where someone is not roasting those fuckers.
No.
And you can't just pass it. But we're totally off topic right now. One more little topic we're going to talk about. Last 10 minutes or so. Fauci. Everyone is fucking flipping out. Flipping out, bro. Over Anthony Fauci. What the fuck happened? What did I miss?
Emails, my dude.
I know he had some emails, but no one has said what's in them.
Funding to the Wuhan lab. Emails with the Wuhan lab.
But he said when Rand Paul was
it
going
doesn't matter
after him,
what he says. There's email proof of what's actually going on.
Was it for the what did
COVID
they call it?
being
Development research or whatever it was?
COVID being a genetically mutated virus.
They found emails saying shit like that?
He has basically been funding.
Damn.
And Bill Gates also helping fund it.
Because then he lied his ass off to Rand Paul. Because when he talked to Rand Paul, he said that they have funded things to Wuhan before, but they never funded that advanced, whatever it's called, where they try and take like a disease and make it stronger and mutate it. That's crazy. He lied his ass off in court.
Mr. Fauci's in some doo-doo.
Well, that brings up... Hold on. So, then why isn't he arrested already?
There has to be an investigation first.
But if an investigator's going to see that one email and they're going to put him in handcuffs and they're going to want to hold him.
He probably is. We just weren't told about it.
You could be right. I thought Fauci was a good dude. I thought Fauci was straight up with everybody, trying to give everyone the best advice at the time that he knew. But, man, if Fauci was behind the China experimentation of COVID, oh, man. Not only is that going to get the conspiracy theorists talking, but they're going to have to, like, really investigate and think about, like, the lockdowns and, like, all the money that it has cost and, like, the schools being shut down and, like, oh, man, that is a pile of worms. But at the same time, if the numbers are legitimate, we did have a lot of people die. So, I mean, the lockdowns and that stuff may be legitimate, and they won't be able to go after Fauci as far as that stuff, but man, that's crazy.
Dun, dun, dun.
Guys, we will be fucking back. Thank you for checking us out. This has been episode 10. Let us know what you think. Subscribe, like, comment. We out of here, guys. Have a good night.